So I am a writer and director in the Indian film industry. And when I was a little girl, I wanted to make movies. That's how I became what I am today. And in the past couple of years, the meaning of making a movie has really transformed. When I was 5 or 6 years old, movies meant you go to the single scene theater in your local town. It's not going to be AC, there's going to be like mice running around, and you watch this big film with lots of stars and lots of song and dance, and then you go home and go to sleep. Those were movies. Now, what is a movie? I myself, a movie maker, doesn't realize the change that has happened in the last 2 years since online digital media came into play. So now a movie can be a big blockbuster on the big screen. It can be a full-length feature only for an online platform. It can be a feature that is cut up into 6 or 7 episodes and streamed as a show. Or it can be a short film that is just uploaded for free on YouTube. Or it can be a film that you've taken your iPhone and gone around and interviewed some people and then put it together, edited it on your phone, and then just uploaded it and called it documentary, and that's a film. So what am I doing as a filmmaker who studied film, who studied writing, versus how is someone like you who hasn't studied all this but thinks, okay, I have a phone, I have a laptop, let me go out and make a film. What is the difference between this and that? And how your coming into play is going to affect my career? I thought I'd talk about that. So basically, all of us who are actually professional film people are scared of all of you right now. We were going along a path, very happy, thinking, oh, we've done our work, we've studied, we've assisted, and now we are going to make great films and be famous and be remembered forever. And suddenly, anybody can make a film. And that's scary. That's scary for us, and it's great for you. And what I discovered in the last year is that it's actually great for me too. Because the more screens there are, the more movies are being made. So I will, instead of making one feature film every 5 years, be able to make 10 films in a year. If it means short films, if it means a film, a 5-minute film, an ad which is also masked as a brand film, if it means a web series, whatever, I am working all throughout the year. Instead of sitting in my house and writing one script, which will take 3 years to get cast and produced, and then it might take another year to release and have to wait for the actors' dates. Instead of that, I'm always constantly working. Obviously, the competition has gone really far ahead, but that's why the content needs to get better and better. If I have to make a short film that is actually being viewed by millions of people and shared and talked about, it has to be that much better than the 100,000 other short films being made. So it's great for audience members as well, because because of the competition, the level of filmmaking and writing is going up. And otherwise, you're just going to get lost in the crowd. So it's a good time, it's a scary time, because we don't know where the online media can take us, what can happen with it right now. It's very new. And when I was asked to give this talk, I sort of decided to think about all the changes in media that happened since I was born. Because the last 30 years has seen such a vast difference in media, in films, in television, that this is not the first time this big change is happening. It's been changing every 5 years. So I wanted to take you guys just along that path of what happened in the last 30 years, so that we can kind of understand today and the scenario today in the Indian film and television industry a little better. So, like I said, when I was 5 or 6 years old, the only thing available was a box TV with DD1 and DD2. DD1 was the boring one, DD2 was the semi-entertaining one. And we had some really horrible single-screen theaters. And we had a video guy, Video Dada, who had all the films that released that very weekend as VHS tapes. So every weekend we used to go and be like, Dada, what film has come? Whatever released on that Friday, he would already have that. And it wasn't pirated. He actually had the video cassette that very Saturday. So we'd go take it. Or sometimes you had to write your name on a wait list because everybody in the neighborhood wanted that film. And you take it home, you watch it at home, you return it the next day, you should rewind and give back the videotape. That was one of the instructions always. And that's what movies were to us. I didn't go to the big screen theater till Hum Aapke Hain Kaun, which was 1994. And I was 10 years old then. Till then, I was really watching films on videotapes and TV. You know, maybe every Sunday they would play some movie on DD or something. Very, very minimal collection. Same 3 movies would keep playing. And Hum Aapke Hain Kaun, when it came out, we went to the video parlor guy. And he said, ma'am, this time the video cassette is not coming out. They want you to go to the theater and watch it. Video cassette will come after 1 month. And we were like, no, there's Salman Khan, Madhuri, there's all these songs. We bought the audio cassette, we love all the songs. We have to go watch this film. So my parents took me to, I grew up outside of Calcutta, so they took me 1.5 hours away into Calcutta and into a nice big theater, and we went in and we saw Hum Aapke Hain Kaun on the big screen. Before that, I already wanted to be a filmmaker. But after that, that became the dream. It was, I wanted this huge screen. I wanted everybody to come out and watch it. And then I wanted it to say, directed by Sonam Nair at the end, and everybody claps and gets up, and that became the dream. Then after that, nobody wanted to watch anything on the VHS tapes anymore. I didn't. I wanted to go, every time there was a big movie that came out, I wanted to go watch it on the big screen. And movies in themselves changed so that you wanted to go and watch them on the big screen. You know, earlier in the 80s, the films were a little bit not so great because the VHS tape had come in. And suddenly now people again wanted you to come watch it on the big screen. So really big budget, family dramas, romances, the Yash Chopra and Karan Johar era came into play so that you would not want to watch it on the video cassette, you want to go to the big screen. Now, what is happening today is the same thing. It's the same thing. Anything that's small and kind of indie, you can watch it on your laptop, you can watch it on your phone. So you need, again, that huge big screen, big dhamal to happen so that you can go to the screen and watch it. So this is not the first time that has happened. That happened in the 90s also. So that helps me, okay? Like we've been through that phase, it's fine. At some point around, I think, 2000, we had already started getting better TV channels as well. We had Z and Sony and Star, and there were 1 or 2 English programs also coming in. So there was enough stuff going on TV as well. But we also started getting film channels. We used to have 24-hour channels playing old films. So each industry is feeding off of each other. So there were TV shows, but there were also films. And then you can see those people on the big screen also sometimes. So they were all collaborating really well. Again, which is something that's going on right now. You can see big film production companies taking on online films, online shows. Just last week, the first Netflix original film made from India debuted on Netflix. In March, the first Netflix original show that made in India with really big stars is going to debut. So the Indian film industry is coming together to contribute to the digital film industry. And now TV as well has come into play, where the film industry people are on TV, they're online, the online people are getting films now. You know, people that started off as like web series stars are now doing big films with big actors. It's all merging together, so which started happening in the 90s as well. So you can see that the patterns kind of continue, but so I'll get to 2000, 2001, which is when multiplexes came into India. So till then, of course, there was a big family Indian movie that was being made every year, so you can go watch it in the big screen. Now multiplexes made everything urban, made everything cool. It just became like, oh my God, it's so cool. There's AC, there's this cool seat, there's great popcorn and snacks and nachos, and you want to go to the theater because the theater is so nice, not just the film. So the experience of watching it became such a good, pleasant experience that sometimes it didn't matter if the movie was that great or not, or if it was that big budget and had every star. If it was kind of cool and looked nice and you were sitting at home anyway, might as well go watch it on screen. This is also the time when piracy sort of, people started talking about piracy a lot and saying, don't do piracy, be against piracy, because what are you watching? These like disgusting, like grainy videos. Instead of that, go to the screen. It's going to be so nice. It's not super expensive, and enjoy yourself. Enjoy the experience. So that brought along another 5-6 years of really cool urban films. It can be called the Dil Chahta Hai phase, where everybody was cool. Everybody had like great styling. They lived in urban cities, or they lived abroad. They spoke like English half the time, and a lot of urban audiences were going to the theater way more suddenly than the rural or the B-town audiences, like we call them. Then the internet came. Really properly it came. First, the internet was like a slow website, some Yahoo chat, some, like some silly things on YouTube. Suddenly the internet came on, and now we could watch English channels on TV, download torrents, download any kind of MP3 available, watch any video on YouTube, go to really like fake pirated sites and watch any film, watch porn. You can watch anything you want online. So why would you go to the theater? So again, we came back to the point which used to happen in the 90s, that the video cassettes were there. Why should we go to the theater? So now this is where we're at, where the theatrical release people are scared. And the Netflix and the Amazons and the Hotstars of the world are very excited, because it's free, it's at home, it's so easy to just click and watch it there. Why do I want to go to the theater? So we are all still figuring that out. What we kind of have figured out is that if you have really big stars and big action sequences and lots of special effects, that could get you to the theater. Or the B-town audiences, the smaller towns, they still don't have full access to digital online streaming as yet. So they are still going to the theaters. So you have lots of films doing well that are, set in small towns. They have that sort of middle class, small town language going on. Those films are doing really well, or the really big blockbusters are doing well. The small indie films, the cute little sweet films, the normal rom-coms that used to do well 10 years ago, they're not doing well anymore, because those are available online. You can just watch it. Why do you have to go to the theater to watch it? And the ticket prices are 400, 500 rupees. It doesn't seem worth it. It doesn't seem worth it for me, someone who's working in the film industry. I look at a trailer and I say, I'll watch this on my TV. It'll come on TV. It'll come on one of the online portals in 2 weeks. I'll just watch it there. So it's a scary time for theatrical release people. Good time for people like me. Because I want to tell small, sweet, relatable stories. I don't want to show someone beating each other up and one helicopter landing and people running, and I don't want to show all that. I want to be able to tell stories that I grew up with. When one channel was playing old Hindi movies from the 60s, that's what I grew up on, and that's where the dream came from to make a film. So that's what I want to say. So for me and people like me, the online media has proved to be a boon. So I made a feature film in 2013 now. And I got really lucky because that film would not be made today. It was a small film about a 13-year-old girl. She's overweight. She's dealing with puberty. There were no stars. Just a very sweet, simple film. I got a very big producer, Mr. Karan Johar, to produce it. That made it release in theaters. But that would never happen now. And the next script that I wrote has been stuck for 3 years, because it is another sweet little simple script which is not going to get a theatrical release. I'm currently talking to online portals to make it for online viewing, because that's where films like that are going. So after my film came out and I wrote another script which has just been stuck because it doesn't have stars, it doesn't have a very mainstream language, it is an adult film, it's never going to see the light of day in the big screens. as it is, unless I change something about it, uh, I was stuck. I was in the middle of this 2015, 2016, these years where online stuff is coming in, theatrical releases are changing, television is changing, and I didn't know where I fit in. And the people from a YouTube channel called Terribly Tiny Talkies came to me and they said, would you like to direct a short film? And I didn't realize what that would mean for me, but I said, okay, because I've been dying to just direct something, so I will direct it. And the feature film of mine that was stuck was a sweet film about sex. And I thought, okay, that film I can't make, but I just want to make a sweet film about sex. So I made Khujli, which is a completely different set of characters, but it is about a middle-aged couple experimenting in the bedroom. And something like that would never get a theatrical release. I would not even sit to write it down because I already know it would never see the light of day. With censors, with the political environment, with just the fact that there are middle-aged actors playing lead roles. But as a short film, I was able to tell my story, the exact story I wanted to tell, without any censorship, any fear of whether it'll become a hit or not, whether anybody will go watch it or not. I just said my story, and it's gotten almost 3 million views. It's won a Filmfare Award. Who would I think that I just wrote a film, 15-minute film, and that is going to win a Filmfare Award, where I've been since I was a kid trying to make a film which will win an award. That didn't happen until this short film. And now I have this freedom in my approach to creating, because I know that whatever I want to say can be said, and it will be watched if it's good enough, because there is this whole big online platform which is just waiting to be explored, and it's unlimited. So I guess what I would like to just wrap up and tell, I've talked for 20 minutes now, that don't limit your dreams. Your dream needs to keep evolving because the world is evolving, but you can fulfill it. So thank you.